There are many different ways that we could describe our discipleship, or different examples that we could use to express certain aspects of it. But in his first letter to the Corinthians, St. Paul gives us a great one. He compares it to a race. And he compares us to runners in a race. And he says, runners in a race are running for a crown that's perishable. It decays. It gets old and it fades. A crown of laurel leaves. But we're running for a crown that's unfading, that's eternal in God's kingdom. And he says, if those runners who are running for that fading crown are willing to train, to make sacrifices, and to deny themselves to win, shouldn't we do the same? You got to start somewhere, though. I remember a TV show that I saw a number of years ago, and there was a guy who said, tomorrow's the day I start to get more physically fit. And his friends were there and his family said, you got to do this right. You can't just rush into it. You got to start slow. He says, yeah, I got this. And the next scene in the TV show shows him in the emergency room, and his friends are there, and they said, what did you do? How did you end up here? He says, well, I woke up this morning, and I started my training. And they said, well, how did you do that? He says, well, I drank 12 raw eggs, and then I tried to run 12 miles. It doesn't work that way. And that's why we as Polish National Catholics have the season of Pre-Lent. Because Lent is the time when we deny ourselves, as St. Paul counsels us. Lent's the time we do penance. Lent's the time we embrace greater prayer, fasting, and almsgiving so that we might become more like Jesus and in the end, win the race, win the crown that is unfading in his kingdom. And Pre-Lent, therefore, is the way by which we prepare for Lent. This year, there's a booklet that will be going out in the Future Directions email, or you may ask your priest to give you a copy of it. And it's called The Season of Pre-Lent, a Time of Preparation for Polish National Catholics. And this booklet has a little bit of background about the season of Pre-Lent, its history, but also it's a daily method that you can use to prepare yourselves to be ready for Ash Wednesday. You can look into yourself over those couple weeks and say, okay, here's where I need to train. Here's where I need to work on myself. Here's where I need to ask the Lord to help me. And then you can decide how you're going to address that particular aspect of your life during the season of Lent. I encourage you, make good use of this booklet during the season of Pre-Lent so that the ashes you receive on Ash Wednesday will just be a symbol of your preparedness inside to engage the struggle that is the season of Lent. And when you do, you'll be better able to pray more fervently, to fast in a more disciplined way, and to give to those in need more generously, so that at the end of Lent, you'll be clean of heart, more like Christ, and hopefully well on your way to winning the race, the finish line of which is in the kingdom of heaven. We as Polish National Catholics, we know that Pre-Lent is important because Lent is very important. So make good use of the 2 weeks and a few days of Pre-Lent and prepare yourselves then to hear the words of the Lord. Repent and believe in the good news.